From the station working for you, this is WRTV News at 6, streaming now.
We continue to see lives lost. What can be done? What can be changed? This is where the community has to step up.
The goal to reduce deadly violence in Indianapolis. Working for you, we're holding city leaders accountable, finding out exactly what their plan is to make our streets safer.
A critical shortage of nurses at VA hospitals nationwide, including in Indianapolis. WRTV investigates, find out the impact this has on patients.
Been surprised that we've had more people reach out to become substitutes than we've had in the past.
Many area school districts don't have enough substitute teachers, which is a problem during the pandemic. How one school system has reversed that trend and what it means for students.
Thank you for joining us on WRTV News at 6 on this Tuesday evening. I'm Amanda Starantino.
And I'm Mark Mullins. First at 6 tonight.
Let's treat this pandemic that we're in, let's treat the homicides the same way. This is a public emergency.
The Indianapolis Metropolitan Police Department and the mayor are sharing what their plans are to reduce violence in 2021. This comes after a record-breaking number of homicides in 2020. WRTV's Stephanie Wade spoke directly with city leaders, holding them accountable, and has the response from community leaders fighting an uphill battle to curb the violence every day.
In 2020, the United States saw the largest one-year increase in homicides in modern history.
We have not been immune from the troubling trend that has impacted cities across the United States.
And while overall crime has continued to fall, criminal homicide skyrocketed.
In Indianapolis, criminal homicides increased by nearly 40% from 2019. Mayor Joe Hogsett cites COVID-19 as a contributing factor.
It has put mental, emotional, economic strain on residents across our city.
We're seeing the need for money as a lot of what we're seeing through the drug trade.
Metro Police say they ramped up staffing, local, state, and federal partnerships, doubled down on community-based beat policing, increased foot and bike patrols, added 16 businesses to IMPD's B-Link program, which added 45 street-level cameras to IMPD's network, deployed over 1,000 body-worn cameras to their officers, and implemented violence interrupters, people tasked with minimizing cyclical and retaliation violence. But despite all of this, Chief Randall Taylor says a lot of their efforts were disrupted by COVID-19.
To end at 245 homicides, it's heartbreaking. It's gut-wrenching.
Aaron Williams, who works with two community grassroots organizations focused on rooting out crime, says COVID-19 has been devastating for all, but it is no justification for the amount of violence we saw last year.
What we saw was a lack of leadership, and we saw the opportunity that the city took on to say, hey, here's an excuse that we can use, let's lean on that. And I don't think that it's right, and I don't think that it's fair for all the families that lost loved ones.
The mayor says the city is funding community-based violence prevention tactics at a historic level. Priorities for 2021 include better accountability with the use of force review board containing a majority citizen involvement, and reigniting relationships with community groups to repair and build new bridges of trust between law enforcement and neighborhoods.
We met with the mayor over half a dozen times last year, personally, in his office, very highly confidential conversations of really trying to work with him and his administration on things that could be done, and we never moved the needle forward.
He says groups need to work together and get support from the mayor's office, encouraging city leaders for greater collaboration.
Get out in the streets and talk to the individuals who are out there doing the work and make a commitment this month that the next 11 months will be different and safer than what we saw in 2020.
Stephanie Wade, WRTV.
Well, IMPD says about 60 to 70% of Indy's non-fatal shooting victims were uncooperative last year, either giving law enforcement false information or not speaking at all. City leaders encourage the community to come forward with information to help solve these cases.
Today, members from several faith communities in central Indiana gathered at the State House with the goal of spreading the message of peace. The event, actually called Prayers for Peace, took place this afternoon on the south steps of the State House. The faith leaders shared a unified prayer for a peaceful transfer of power in our nation's capital on Inauguration Day. They also prayed for the people who lost loved ones during the pandemic and frontline workers who continue to sacrifice to keep us healthy, even if it means putting their own health at risk.
Though our prayers and remarks will be concise and with constraints of time, may our commitment to unity, respect, and kindness be sustained long after we're leaving these steps and this moment. In the words of Eugene Peterson, may our faith be demonstrated by a long obedience in the same direction. That direction is love for our neighbor.
The faith members are also urging us to address inequities and boldly face the health and safety challenges that lie before us.
The VA Medical Center in Indianapolis is among several across the country that reported a critical shortage of nurses. WRTV Investigates partnered with Newsy and found more and more nurses are getting sick with coronavirus or are in quarantine at hospitals that serve military veterans. Our Kara Kenny is asking the local VA hospital how this is impacting patients.
The Richard Raudebush VA Medical Center in Indianapolis provides inpatient and outpatient services to thousands of Indiana veterans every year. But records obtained by our partners at Newsy uncovered the hospital has been asking for help to provide adequate staffing. The Indianapolis hospital is one of 6 VA medical centers in Midwest cities, including Cleveland and Detroit, described in a federal contracting document in December as facing a critical shortage of nurses due to RNs becoming infected with COVID-19, as well as requirements to self-quarantine due to confirmed or probable exposure.
The crisis is coming.
Yvonne Evans worries there soon may not be enough nurses to work alongside her at the VA in Detroit as coronavirus infections increase. She spoke to us as a member of the American Federation of Government Employees, Local 933.
The surge hasn't quite hit yet. After this holiday, I honestly believe these surges are going to really increase.
Nurses spend prolonged time close to COVID patients, more than doctors.
It's more intimate. We're changing them, we're bathing them, we're feeding them.
Data reviewed by our partners at Newsy from the VA shows cases of COVID among VA employees nationwide began a sharp climb in November as infections across the country ballooned. And while anyone who catches the virus can be sidelined, nurses out sick impacts health care of others. WRTV Investigates reached out to the Indianapolis VA, and a spokesperson told us that the document is a routine request to hire contract nurses on a temporary basis. Quote, contract hiring decisions like these are routine and coupled with the hiring of more than 72,000 new VA healthcare workers since late March have enabled the department to successfully treat more than 105,000 COVID patients and test nearly 1.1 million people for the virus. The VA also told WRTV its employee infection rate is less than 1%, lower than the 6% in all healthcare systems, as reported by the CDC. When we asked how this is impacting patients, our Indiana veterans, we were told there is no impact. All VA medical centers have adequate capacity to meet current demand. Nurse Yvonne Evans caught COVID-19 in spring and still has breathing difficulty, limiting her ability to work.
This virus is no joke. And us frontline healthcare workers, we're right there in the battlefield.
As COVID-19 continues to impact our state's veterans, they're hopeful the hospitals that serve them can stay fully staffed with nurses. Working for you, Kara Kenny, WRTV.
And we've reported on local school districts across our area and their struggle to find substitute teachers. But that's not the case in Muncie. The school district there is actually starting to see an increase in the number of people interested in becoming substitutes. WRTV's Megan Sigtorm has more on the impact this could have on your child's education.
Leaders with Muncie Community Schools say they are working to get new substitute teachers trained and ready to go so they can continue to provide a quality education to students inside the classroom. Here at Westview Elementary, students are masked up and ready to learn. But in order for the district to continue offering the in-person learning option, they need to make sure they have enough substitute teachers to step in when needed.
Subs are critical to be able to operate schools, And now more so than ever, we have teachers that are either quarantined because of being positive or being close contacts, and the amount of time they're out of classrooms is longer than what it's been in the past.
And they're working to meet that need. The district's saying they're seeing an increase in applicants. People like Michael McLean wanting to step in and help.
I definitely think I can make an impact of being a substitute teacher, and that's just kind of why I did it.
She just completed her substitute teacher training with Muncie Community Schools. She's also currently pursuing her master's in social work. She says substitute teaching is a great way to serve her community right now and have reliable income.
Since there is a need, I feel like it's a consistent job that you can do. Just like even in the trainings, we saw just one day of how many teachers were out and how many people, said they can sub. And then there were still several teachers who needed subs.
But she and others pursuing this opportunity are hoping to fill that gap. McLean's saying there's something special about being in the classroom and lessons you can't always find online.
You learn how to, stand up for your peers. You learn the things that you value. You learn who safe people are. You learn, how to be respectful. And so there's so much more than just the educational piece in school. And that side is so important.
We are looking for people who like to be around children, who like learning, who are positive, who try to engage students, to want to do the best they can during the school day.
And leaders here are optimistic they'll continue to see interest in this position and find the right people for the job. Working for you, Megan Sanctorum, WRTV.
Substitute teachers must pass a background check, drug screen, and have a high school diploma. Pay at Muncie Community Schools ranges from $70 to $100 per day. If you are interested in learning more or want to apply, head to our website, WRTV.com. We will have a link set up there.
A spike in COVID-19 related deaths, but there is some better news with the amount of newly reported cases. Today, the Indiana Department of Health confirms 126 additional coronavirus related deaths. That's about up from 30 new deaths reported yesterday. A total of 9,092 Hoosiers have now died with COVID-19. The State Department of Health also reports 2,756 additional cases of the coronavirus. That is the second day in a row that new cases have been below the 3,000 mark. More than 595,000 people in Indiana have tested positive for COVID since the pandemic began in March.
If you're wanting a change, there's no better way to make it a change than joining a police department and seeing what they do.
If you or someone you know is looking for a job, there are law enforcement positions available. The agency hiring and the opportunity they have for you.
He won't be playing just yet, but Pacers guard Karis LeVert is already fitting in just fine. Coming up in sports, the newest to wear the blue and gold talks about his first days with the team. Kevin.
And a brief window marked for some very light snow. I'll define the hours that it's most likely and look towards some sunshine later in the forecast.
Any plumbing repair.
WRTV's Hiring Hoosiers works to link you up with jobs and resources, and Indiana's State Police Force is looking for its next class of recruits to join the ranks alongside some 1,300 plus law enforcement personnel. Tonight, our Nikki Dementry is showing us how ISP is hiring Hoosiers.
Aaron Fillenworth has been learning the ropes on Indy's roads as a probationary trooper for the last 3 weeks.
So it means I'm learning how to be a trooper right now. I'm on the road with FTO, field training officer, and he's teaching me everything I need to know about how to be a trooper on the road.
Their probationary period lasts for a year. Last month, the 25-year-old graduated from the Indiana Law Enforcement Academy in Plainfield.
It was a good experience. I learned a whole lot.
Up next is the 81st Recruit Academy class, and applications are still open.
We were looking for quality individuals that are looking to, serve their communities and be a part of their community. Our troopers work every day within the communities here in Indianapolis and then in the rural areas throughout the whole state.
Indiana State Police Sergeant Michael Wood says class sizes are generally around 50 to 60 people. but can vary. The Bloomington District Public Information Officer has been in the force for almost 14 years, with 5 years spent as the assistant commander of the academy. Last year, he says changes were made to the training curriculum.
It's really rewarding. We'll watch recruits take these very minute skills that they learn along the way, and then that'll turn into a scenario-based training where they put everything together. So we kind of call it a crawl, walk, run mentality through the academy.
Training lasts 25 weeks and holds a rigorous schedule Monday through Friday while living at the academy. It's a time Fillenworth says brought her close to her fellow troopers.
Especially with the females, we created a bond too, because there was only 4 of us compared to starting with 40-some males, so we definitely got close and we could relate to each other.
Wood adds diversity within Recruit Academy classes is extremely important.
We're only as good as our members of our department, and if we can have different cultures, different communities come together and be troopers and be a part of this department, it'll only make us stronger.
Drive, determination, and attention to detail are 3 things Fillenworth says make for a good trooper. Her advice for those wanting to join her and attend the academy is simple.
Make sure you're physically fit.
Nikki Dementri.
Make sure you're ready for the PT test and ready for the academy.
WRTV.
And state police note the starting salary for troopers after the completion of the academy is $48,000 a year. During the academy, starting salary there is a little more than $1,600 bi-weekly. The deadline to apply is coming up quickly this Sunday. We have much more information on how to apply, as well as more details on the position on our website at WRTV.com.
Tonight is Governor Eric Holcomb's annual State of the State address. He's expected to talk about Indiana's pandemic response, probably including vaccinations. The governor will also likely outline his legislative agenda for the year. He will give the speech virtually because of the pandemic. You can watch the State of the State address live here on WRTV, on the WRTV News app, and the WRTV Facebook page. It starts at 7 tonight.
Well, the sunshine felt good for us. Somehow, for the ducks and geese, even the water felt pretty good today. We're going to freeze more water tonight as temperatures drop into the 20s, but that's nothing. Look at this. This is the date, the anniversary date of our all-time coldest temperature in Indianapolis. Remember this morning well. January 19th, 1994, we dropped 27 below zero. New Whiteland in Johnson County set the all-time state record that morning with 36 below zero. It's 37 now, above. Temperature in Shelbyville's at 40. We've had the clouds increase through the day. Now our chance for flurries and snow showers will increase. Between Peoria and Chicago, you see the leading edge of some flurries and snow showers. That's dropping south and east. This will be light, certainly under an inch of snow, and in most cases under half an inch. The winds will gust over 20 miles per hour as the flurries and snow showers move through. And this is primarily targeting areas over the northern half of the state and northeast of Indianapolis. 7 o'clock, you see what's going on. 9 o'clock from Indy on up 31 toward Kokomo and Peru, over toward Anderson and Muncie as we go through 11, and then maybe picking up intensity a little bit up toward Peru, over to Richmond by 11 o'clock. But in the morning tomorrow, we're back to starting to clear skies, and that leads us to temperatures that will be in the low 20s tomorrow morning, but sunshine to the rescue. Temperatures warm into the low 30s, not that it's that warm, but will carry a little momentum into Thursday after 32 degrees tomorrow. Thursday's high vaults its way up to 42. Notice I said briefly warmer because it drops quickly. Temperatures by Friday back into the lower 30s. We're dry, not just tomorrow and the rest of the work week, but we're dry probably until late Sunday night and then Monday. We'll have a rain-snow mix potentially Monday as warmer air returns and temperatures come back into the lower 40s. That's next Monday. But a few snow showers and flurries tonight. Mark and Amanda?
Thanks, Kevin. We appreciate it. We're just 2 months away from March Madness being all over Indiana, and now we know exactly when it's happening.
Plus, the Pacers are getting to know the newest addition to their roster. Here's Brad Brown with a look at your Tuesday sports headlines.
The plans are coming together for Indy's March Madness extravaganza. The NCAA announcing game dates on Tuesday. The first 4 will go March 18th, 2 games each at IU and Purdue. The first round will start the following day on March 19th. The Sweet 16 games will be played at Bankers Life Fieldhouse and Hinkle Fieldhouse as a Saturday-Sunday quadruple header on the 27th and 28th. The Elite 8 and Final 4 games will all be at Lucas Oil Stadium. Selection Sunday starts it all off on March 14th. The Pacers are welcoming their newest player to Indianapolis, Karis LeVert, with the team for the first time on Tuesday. He had a chance to talk with us about a whirlwind few days that saw him traded to Indiana, then diagnosed with a mass on his kidney.
Everybody kind of associated with this program, and then my family and, my friends and everyone on social media and everything like that. I'm just very grateful for all the support that I've received. But it's definitely been a crazy couple of days, and it's going to be, a crazy recovery as well. But I think myself and, the Pacers organization is really optimistic about the future.
Spirits are great. Very, very good individual. I mean, just his character, you can see it in his eyes, his positivity, the way he carries himself. The guys are loving having him here. So we're in the beginning stages with it. And he was at practice today and watching and learning as we speak.
The Pacers host the Mavs tomorrow night. Another new team for this year's Indy 500. This one focused on bringing more women into racing. Beth Peretta unveiling Peretta Autosport Tuesday at IMS. They'll be partnering with Team Penske and Chevrolet to bring an entry to the 500 this May. Simona De Silvestro, the driver. The hope is to have women at every level of the organization.
We will strive to incorporate more women into the team. I've always believed that with aptitude, interest, and the right attitude, the rest can be learned.
The Indy 500 has always been one of the race that, if it was possible, that I wanted to do. And to be honest, to come back, how we are now with this team, with Beth making this happen, I think it's really cool. And I think we really have all the ingredients to be super successful.
Beth hopes to run a full IndyCar schedule in 2022. Brad Brown, WRTV Sports.
Rivers.com.
All right, I'm not on camera. Temperatures in the morning will be in the 30s. We've got some snow showers, though, tonight with light accumulations. As you look at temperatures here next 3 days, we'll see you at 7